I love this time of year because I have so much going on, so much to tell you guys about. I'm the Frugal Gardener, and as you can see, I'm in the garden. There's a lot going on, and I need to take my time and decide what I'm going to show you today and what I'm going to hold off on until next week. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone, whether you're a long time subscriber, watcher, or whether you're just here for the first time. I garden in zone 7A, and today I'm going to give you 10 tips that I have, and you want to stick around because before this video is over, I'm going to talk about this. This is not hay, this is straw. I'm going to show you why I use it and why you probably should be using it, when to use it, where to use it, how much to use, and why I never, ever, ever use hay. So stick around for that. These 10 tips I had to just came up here a little while ago, and this is looking kind of sad because I didn't water it yesterday, and it's pretty humid, pretty now I wouldn't say hot, but today has been pretty warm. So at any rate, what I'm going to do is start off with a couple of simple things. You don't always have to make things complicated. You don't always have to spend a lot of money. Sometimes the simplest ideas are the best. And the first three, I'm basically going to just start off with something simple like starter containers. That's these guys here. A lot of people buy the trays, which is fine, but I prefer to use what I have. As you can see, this is the butternut squash. This is time for me to take this out. I managed to get 6 in here, so that was a good deal. This is a mushroom container, obviously food grade. This is corn that I'm going to be talking to you guys about in a minute, and this is what you would call deck corn and or patio corn, and that's different from the regular corn, which is another tip I'm going to give you guys. And this is from lunch meat. So that's number one. Number two is potato chitting, which is what I did here. I did a little video earlier on it, and I'll show that to you now. So here's another tip. I always tell you guys to try to avoid store-bought potatoes because of the fact that they are sprayed with growth inhibitors. But if you buy organic, that's one way that you can avoid having that problem. Now, a lot of people are struggling now with food insecurity. This is something that you can do that's extremely cheap that can help feed your family. Yes, it's going to take a while, but it's still, well, it's early June. And these are Idaho potatoes. Now, here's the deal. You can see these were growing. These, I have to buy potatoes because the potatoes that I grew last year, they've long since ran out, which is the reason why I'm growing more this year. These are potatoes. The purple grow bag is potatoes, and I have one way down the other end that I'm using, and I intend to grow more because I'm going to plant these. So now here's the story. These are what they call seed potatoes, and you're going to pay anywhere from $12 to $17, $18 for these. I'm not sure how many you get. As I said, these came in a 5-pound bag, and these are what was left at the bottom that was starting to sprout. Now, here's the deal. This is called chitting when you cut the potato into sections. So I have done it that way, and I've done it this way, just planted the entire whole potato, which is what I'm going to do with this one. And then the other thing is this scab that you see where they basically tell you to cut the potatoes, let them sit overnight. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, a little confusing. Some people say overnight, some people say a couple of days. These have been sitting for 2.5 days, and you can see where they're starting to scab over. Now, the purpose of this is basically to keep them from, when you plant them, then they can go bad. You can have a fungus, and everything will be ruined, and you basically have to start over. So I have cut these and put them directly into the soil, no problem. I have chitted them, which means doing what I did here, and put them in the next day, 2 days later, 3 days later, no problem. And I've obviously put them in whole. So for me, all those ways work. Now, I guess you have to see what works best for you, but I've tried them all and I have not had a problem. These are going to go down to where my strawberries were because the voles got into my strawberries. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with those next year. So I'm not going to dig them up, but I do have space in there to put these. So I'm going to make a little side trip, put these in. So this is another quick tip for you guys. If you're strapped for cash, if you're trying to feed the family, or if you just want to save some money, you can get a couple of these organic potatoes and wait until they begin to sprout, or get eyes. We used to call them eyes when I was growing up, and plant them. Okay, so moving on, the frugal son-in-law and I have kind of struggled when it comes to growing corn, sweet corn. My plan this year was to plant some corn over here. I still might. I have had some issues. I explained this to you guys already with getting stuff in the ground, hence the reason why I focus a lot on here, but I digress. What I am focusing on, the reason why this is on my list is because this is a hybrid. This is on deck corn. This is sweet corn. This corn is from Burpees. Other companies make them. And the average corn stalk grows anywhere from 6 to 12 feet, which is higher than this autumn olive bush here. 6 to 12 feet, imagine that. I'm 6 feet, so this is about where I am. So 12 feet, depending upon the variety, depending upon what type you plant, you can go 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. Now, here's the good news. The good news is because this is particularly made to grow in containers. This grows 4 to 6 feet. So this is something that if you wanted to grow corn and you were reluctant because of the space, because of the fact that you didn't have a big yard, you can actually grow this in containers. So this is it right here. The label's a little bit crooked. I have 2 of these going, and you see right here where it says deck corn. So that's going to go somewhere around here. I'm seriously considering moving this bench or this table over here, but I don't know now because I'm looking at the amount of sun I'm getting over here. I may not have to move it. I may be able to leave it where it is and plant it here. Of course, I have to get all this cleaned out, and that's my next project in terms of what I am attempting to accomplish this summer. This is another preview. These are moonflowers that I'm going to feature in my new series. Well, it's not new now. This will be the 2nd episode of Gardening with Your Kids. As I can say gardening with your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors' kids, doesn't really matter. Your nieces, your nephews. And these are moonflowers, which I think are pretty cool because they open up at night. I have 2 other flowers that goes with this, and you'll have to watch the series to find out exactly how that's going to work. So that's the starter containers, the potato chitting, the deck corn, and next I did this in advance on the DIY shade cloth. So I'll show you that. So this isn't pretty, but it's functional. I mean, you can tell what it is. It's an old sheet. This is a temporary solution if you don't have a shade cloth or shade cloths. I have 3. And if you don't have the time, the money, or you just don't want to spend the money, then you can set something up like this. Try and get a light color. I have clothespins on the way. I'm going to do another segment on this once I get a better setup. But right now, I just wanted to throw this together to give you guys an idea of what you can do. As you can see, like I said, it's not pretty, but it's functional. So there's 3 plants under here right now. I can very easily put 6 or 7 underneath here. Just move that, manure out of the way. I can put a bunch of them under here, and this will protect you from the sun. We're expecting, well, they're saying there's a 65% chance that we're going to have a super El Nino, which the last time we had one was in the 1800s. I didn't even realize they were keeping records back then. But at any rate, if you are in a bind, this will help you temporarily and basically won't cost you anything. So this is one of my solutions, one of the things that you might want to do in your garden this summer when the temperatures are scorching. All right, this is a touchy subject for me. We've moved on, and this is black cow manure, and I'm not the internet police, I'm not the YouTube police, but I struggled with whether to add this on the list or not, because I don't like criticizing other content creators, especially other gardening content creators. I still have a lot to learn, but this video got my attention. It was a guy and a girl, I guess it was a husband and wife, and they're giggling, laughing, having a good time. And the heading of their video was gardening for beginners, gardening for newbies. And that's the reason why I ultimately decided, yes, I'm going to add this to the list, because they were showing you how to plant, I believe it was tomatoes. And they had this big hole, and the guy had his hand, in the bag of the nutrients, and he put in a couple handful of this, a couple handful of that, and he's telling you what to do. And then he got to this. He got to this black cow. Now, here's my problem. And I'm going to try not to go into a rant about this. But I'm going to be blunt. Do not put your hand inside a bag of cow manure. Yes, it's been commercially processed. Yes, it's been aged. But at the end of the day, it's still animal waste. Just like this. This is not as pretty. It's not packaged up. This is horse manure. Back over here somewhere, I have the chicken manure, and this is what I've been using in the garden. If you follow my channel, you know that I've been using this. I'm just going to be as plain and simple about this as I possibly can. When you use this in your garden, which is pretty popular now, a lot of people are using the bag manure / compost. You run the risk of getting bacteria, salmonella, E. coli, and this can also contain parasites and spores. So when you're reaching your hand in this, especially if you're new and you don't know any of this stuff because you just watched the video, then you could be transferring this. If you go in the house, even if you wash your hands, you may not completely get everything off your hands. And if you're handling food, you can get sick. You can make your family sick. So please wear gloves. Please use a spade. Please use a shovel. Don't stick your hand in this stuff. It's dangerous. So enough about that. We're working our way through the list. And this you sort of kind of saw already. This is number 7, I believe. This is our, well, I think it's number 6. This is our seed saver. This, again, is the same as this. These are lunch meat containers. How many times have you opened a pack of seeds, put them down, and they either got tipped over or left in the rain or blown away, or there's so many things that could go wrong once you open a pack of seeds. This is pretty simple. It's straightforward. Like I said, some of the best ideas are the simplest, he said, and the easiest. And this is one of those. When I'm working in the garden during the summer, I started using these, and I just snap the top on it. Keeps the rain out, keeps the critters out, keeps the moisture out, and it's free. You know, I like free, so I pretty much upscaled to use that. And when I mentioned the starter containers, I should have also mentioned these guys, this guy here and this guy here, because I use whatever I have. And again, both of these are food grade. So we're headed towards, excuse me, we're headed towards this use of this straw, and coming up on that pretty soon. This is another brand. I don't want to pick on Black Cow. This is another brand of the cow manure and compost. Tells you right there, cow manure. So there's no question about it. There's no doubt about it. And that is something that you want to be aware of. All right, I don't want to spend any more time on that. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is something that you guys may recognize because I've shown this in the past, so I'll be real quick about it. This is the screen to shift your used soil. Again, it's a money saver. Like I said, I showed this before. This cost me about, it was less than $2 in wood that I got from, I believe it was Home Depot. And I had this screen left over. I cut it to size, put a couple, well, you can use screws, you can use nails. In this case, I use staplers, and boom, it fits right over top of the average size bin, a tote, whatever you want to call it. And you can make it to fit whatever size you want. You can make it as many as you want. It's pretty cheap. It's very thrifty, and it's going to save you money. And I mentioned this before, and I believe it was, I want to believe she's one of the people that follow my channel. I think she said she's made one or two of these herself. So like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this video. So we're at number 9. This is where I'm supposed to be showing you tomato. It's a store-bought tomato because my tomatoes are far from ready. And this tip is a new one for me, and it blew my mind when I first saw it. The guy, I forgot his name. I've watched all these ways to store your tomatoes once you harvest them, and you can blanch them and do all these other kind of things. He basically took his and threw them in a deep freezer. So the upscale to that is basically lay them on a sheet tray, put them in the freezer, let them get hard, let them freeze first, and then once they are frozen, put them in a Ziploc bag. I'll do a video on that because, like I said, I don't have any right now to show you. So it's basically freeze drying whole tomatoes. So that brings me to the final tip, and that's this straw. I say this for last because to me this is the most important, and because very few people are using it correctly. We have a 65% chance of a super El Nino, and apparently my math is faulty because I left out something, which was this. This is my new handy dandy fancy hummingbird feeder. This thing is great, and I didn't think the hummingbirds came out this early. So I ended up Googling it, and they're here. They're here now. You can see they have been here for a while, and they're not as shy as they were in the past. They just come right up and help themselves, and you can see what's happening here. Well, I priced the nectar on Amazon, $9.99 for 64 ounces, $10 for nectar that I made myself in like less than 10 minutes for the cost of a quarter cup of sugar and some water. That's basically what it is. It's sugar water. And when I researched it, it actually said, do not add food coloring, do not add any extra to it. And the other advantage that I got from actually making my own and researching it is said that not just should you melt the sugar, but you should let it simmer for a while, let it boil for a while. Well, I shouldn't say boil, simmer for a while, because that way it will last longer before it starts to go on you. But I don't think I'm going to have that problem here because I counted at least 4 hummingbirds since I've been out here. So I'm real happy with that. And then there's the other bird feeder way down here. And I'm going to do another video on this garden pretty soon. But yeah, everything that I planned seems to be working. There's 2 water features down here. I mean, there's so much life in comparison to last year. I cannot complain. Okay, so back to the main feature, and that's this straw. Well, I said earlier, they're expecting a 65% chance of a super El Nino. Even if we don't get it, our summers have been ridiculous. Our summers, well, at least here in Zone 7A, we've been in the 90s like almost every day during the summer. I mean, hasn't been that bad yet, but the trick is to take this and to put it around your plants. Why? Because it reflects the sunlight. Just like you don't wear dark clothes in the summer because it attracts the light, this does the opposite. This reflects the light, it holds in the moisture, and that way you have to do less watering. If you don't have to water as much, that's saving you time, that's saving your energy, that's saving your effort. But here's the deal. When I first started using this, I had to stop because the only place I can get it from was Amazon that I knew of. And it was getting too pricey, it was getting expensive for me. So I have since learned that if you are near a Tractor Supply, or if you are near, I know I was going to forget the name of the other place, Rural King. Okay, so Rural King, Tractor Supply, any of these types of stores that sell farm equipment, you can easily pick this up, and it's a whole lot cheaper than ordering it through the mail. They also ship, but I'm not sure what the shipping price is. I go to Tractor Supply to get my chicken feed and other things, so I just pick it up while I'm there. So like I said, this is good for moisture retention, soil insulation, and the thing that I want you guys to realize about this is the usage. You don't want to put too much on there, because if you put too much, then it's going to make it difficult for the water to get down to the soil. If you don't put enough, then it's not going to do its job properly. So 2 to 3 inches. That's about as much as you need to use. I have not put that on any of these yet because, well, I guess I probably could put it on the peas, but these are just coming up. This has not yet come up. These are just coming up over here. Things are going better than well, I shouldn't say better. They're pretty much going the way that I was hoping that they would. Now, I also said to you guys, I do not use hay. That is a no-no for me because most of the hay growers, they spray chemicals. They use herbicides. And when you do that, then you run the risk of transferring that to your plants. You also run the risk of the hay rotting. You run the risk of getting weeds in your soil. You can ruin your tomatoes. You can ruin a lot of your plants by using the hay. There are certain people who do it because it's cheap. It's cheaper than straw, but in the long run, is it worth it? I don't think so. So I would say go ahead and find a place close to you. And like I said, once these come up, I will most likely put the hay, the straw rather, over here. And I'm going to do a follow-up on this because I have some clips coming that I want to show you guys, and I want to show you this in action. So I'll give you the quick rundown again. So number one was the starter containers, which you see here and here. Number two was the potatoes and chitting the potatoes. Number three was the patio deck corn, which only grows about 4 to 5 feet, which I think is really cool. And number four was the manure. Number five was the shade cloth that I just mentioned. Number six was the nectar for the hummingbirds. Number seven was the seed savers. That's it here. And again, I still left one out. So my math today is off. Maybe I've been in this hot sun too long. The one that I left out was, and I did not bring my book, our dog, Rory, is quite the prankster. Apparently when nobody's looking, she goes around and she pulls the tabs. She pulls these from out of the plants. So if I have, you can see where I'm going with this. It just makes it more difficult for me to keep track of what I'm growing, and more importantly, when I planted it. I'll show you the book. It's in the house. It's the one thing I did forget to bring out. And I list everything that I'm growing. Everything that I'm growing, but I'm also listing the date. So I'm listing the dates that I planted it, and this way I'll know when I need to harvest it. So while I'm sitting there trying to figure out what goes where, as long as I can identify what's growing, then I can figure out when I need to harvest. So there's your top 10 tips. For now, this is stuff that I'm doing right now in the garden, and there is more to come. So I kept you guys long enough for today. I'll be back with another video soon. And don't forget, I'm going to restart up my Gardening with Children series. So hopefully you'll know somebody that will be interested, unless you have kids of your own. So thanks again for watching. I'm the Frugal Gardener. Remember what I always tell you guys: when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. Catch you guys on the flip side. Enjoy your day.